This is where we've been testing our Grasshopper vertical takeoff and vertical landing vehicle. If you haven't seen the YouTube videos yet, you should definitely check them out. It's a pretty cool thing. Some people think it's kind of science fiction. Is it real? It's awesome. You should definitely check it out. Now, what the Grasshopper is, it is a full Falcon 9 first stage. It has a single Merlin engine and landing legs, and it takes off and lands entirely under its own rocket power. Now, the goal of this test vehicle is to learn how to safely return first stages back to the launch site. Most expendable launch vehicles right now, what they do is when the first stage burns out, it falls back to Earth, falls back into the ocean. Now, the shuttle, what they would do is they would go in and recover their boosters out of the ocean. It's a very expensive process to first get it out of the ocean and then B, to refurbish it. You've got all that saltwater corrosion, so it's a really expensive process to pull it back out of the ocean. You can save a lot of time and money if you could fly the first stage back to the launch site. And that is definitely one of SpaceX's goals. We want to make rockets completely reusable here. We believe that's going to be, this is what's going to revolutionize the space industry. This is what's going to drastically reduce the cost of access to space. Maybe even to the point where you or I will be able to go for a reasonable cost, which would be awesome. Now, the next set of tests we're going to do for Grasshopper, you should stay tuned. We're going to be doing a series of increasing altitude tests and some more aggressive steering maneuvers. We'll be doing a few more tests in McGregor. We are also going to be running some tests at Spaceport America in New Mexico, so be sure to stay tuned for those.
We're continuing to work no issues at Vandenberg. All elements of the system, Falcon 9, spacecraft, range, and the weather continue to be go. Now, LOX topping of the first and second stages is continuing. One of the events we'll see coming up when we enter terminal count, just inside of T-minus 10 minutes, is we'll open up the pre-valves to the 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. At this point, we'll begin chilling in the turbo pumps on the engine, getting them ready for the liftoff requirements at T0. At that point, you'll see on the webcast the gaseous oxygen, white clouds coming out from underneath the base of the first stage. That'll show that the valves are open. We've begun chilling in the engines. We're working, as I said, no issues on CASSIOPE spacecraft right now. They'll do a final poll at T-minus 13 minutes, verify that they're ready and good to go for launch. We're also working no issues at the range. Weather continues to look good. We're currently looking at the last balloon. We released a balloon about 100 minutes before launch. That gave us good conditions for the T0 coming up in just over 20 minutes. We're now releasing more balloons as we go through the morning, just in case we need them for later launch opportunities. Finally, the Falcon 9 team here at SpaceX has put in a tremendous amount of work over the years getting ready for today's launch. Now, we've enjoyed successes with our previous Falcon 9 flights, but that's no guarantee of future success. So with that, we're focused on the launch that's in front of us. We recognize, though, that even with all the steps, all the work that we've put in, the testing, the verifications, the reviews, that this doesn't demonstrate that we are going to succeed, because space is difficult. This is a Falcon 9 demonstration flight today. But we put all our effort in, we've done our reviews, and the team is ready to launch Falcon 9 to space today.
So what you've been seeing in the webcast is all of our ground cameras. Now what we're going to do right when we get it near liftoff is switch you over to our vehicle cameras. We have cameras on board the rocket, both looking up and down, and we'll be sending those back through our antennas so you can see those live. It's a much better view than trying to watch the rocket from the ground. So the camera on the second stage is about 20 stories up looking down. And as we lift off, you'll be able to see the California coastline disappear below us. And as we get into space, we'll start aiming the camera up towards space.
Now, another comment about our video signal that Jessica was talking about. The onboard cameras will switch views as we go through flight. Now, we may lose video for a few seconds as the vehicle is making the switch between one camera view and the other. Now, in this case, that should be normal, but we'll try to get the views back to you on the webcast as quickly as we can. Now, the status you've just heard, let me talk about one other thing that you'll see coming up. Currently, the Falcon 9 is out on the pad. The strong back, or transporter erector, is up around the vehicle right now. This will stay in position up until just inside of T-minus 6 minutes. At that point, you'll hear in the countdown, see on the webcast, the clamp around the second stage will open up. The transporter erector will then begin to recline away from the vehicle to get into position to support launch at T-0. A little something different than previous flights. So with that, let's take a look at Kiko downstairs.
So while John and Jessica are actually webcasting you from the mezzanine level here in Hawthorne, I'm down on the ground floor right outside Mission Control. Now, as you can see and maybe kind of feel from your view at home here, you can see that the team is starting to gather and get excited and get ready to watch this launch. Now, it's really important for us as a team to actually come out and watch the launch together, because all of us are completely and 100% invested in getting our customer to orbit successfully. And now, while there's people here at Hawthorne, we also have our employees at our Texas test facility, at the Cape Canaveral launch site in DC, and also some employees from Hawthorne that have driven up to Vandenberg to actually go watch the launch. So like I said, everybody is completely vested in making sure we get our customer in orbit successfully. Now, behind John and Jessica, you may have noticed the Dragon spacecraft. We're not flying Dragon today, but it is kind of a reminder of the things we've done and where we're headed in the future. We've had 3 successful Dragon flights to the ISS recently to deliver commercial cargo under NASA's commercial resupply contract. And then the spacecraft you actually saw behind John and Jessica, that was the first Dragon we flew. It was launched in December 2010. It did 2 orbits around the Earth and then splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. And at that time, we became the first commercial entity to actually launch and successfully recover a spacecraft. Now, we're kind of getting closer to launch, so I want to remind you to make sure to check the website or the Twitter or the SpaceX Facebook feed for any updates that you may want to see during or after the launch. And also, if you're interested in maybe getting some merchandise like a t-shirt or a hat that's got the SpaceX gear on it, feel free to check out the SpaceX store also. Now, because we're getting really, really close to launch, and I'm getting excited about watching this thing, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the microphone down and get ready to watch the launch with the rest of the team.
Yes, thanks, Kiko. And just above you here in the mezzanine, we can also feel that buzz, the energy, as the crowd continues to watch our Mission Control Center team supporting the folks at Vandenberg counting down the Falcon 9 for launch. Now, the next big event is the terminal countdown poll coming up at T-minus 13 minutes. Now, up till now, for the last hour or so, it's been very quiet for the Falcon 9. As I said, mostly we've just been topping off liquid oxygen, topping off helium. We haven't been doing a lot of active work on the vehicle. This gives us an opportunity or a buffer in the countdown, so if we'd had to work other issues, that we had some time. Now, once we get into T-minus 13 minutes, then activities will start clocking down as the computers take over control and take the vehicle through the last 10 minutes of the countdown. So what we're going to hear at T-minus 13 minutes is the SpaceX launch conductor. They'll poll 20 individuals to verify readiness to enter the terminal count. The vehicle controller, the ground controller, the chief engineer, the Air Force folks who are supporting the launch. Now, for a lot of folks, that sounds fairly dry, Jessica. We were just listening to 20 people all give a go. For me, that's where I grew up on in the space age, is that countdown poll. So I always get a bit of a thrill listening to it as we get those goes for launch. Now, once we finish that, we'll hear the launch conductor giving instructions to the SpaceX team on what to do in case they find a reason to hold the count as we get into the terminal countdown sequence. So if that were to happen, typically we'll recycle to T-minus 13 minutes. We'll be listening in, letting you hear as we go through that recycle procedure so that we can pick up on making sure the team is safing the vehicle, getting it ready possibly for another launch attempt, and going to T-minus 13 minutes. The other things that'll happen after the instructions will be the actual terminal count, starting at T-minus 10 minutes. I talked to you about we'll open pre-valves and begin chilling in the turbo pumps on the first stage engines. There'll be at about 7.5 minutes a final go poll involving just a few limited individuals, including the Air Force. We'll switch the vehicle from external power to the internal batteries on the first and second stage. We'll retract the strong back that I talked about. Then we'll make sure that the flight termination system armed and the ranges go, and then hopefully we'll see the countdown culminating with that magic at T0 as Falcon 9 with CASSIOPE heads into outer space. So with that, we're going to wind down for a minute, let everybody hear the countdown net over the webcast as we go through the poll, and then we'll come back, hopefully at the end, and wrap up. If there is a problem that recycles, then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit later on. So with that, 13 minutes to go, let's listen in.
All right, attention on the countdown net in section 10.54. Stations report logged in and ready for launch. VC.
VC's go.
GC.
GC's go.
GS.
GS's go.
Prop.
Props go.
ABI.
ABI's go.
Flight software.
Flight software's go.
GNC.
GNC's go.
Ground.
Ground is go.
RC.
RC's go.
FRC.
FRC's go.
FTS.
FTS go.
OSM.
OSM go.
FISBO.
FISBO go.
ROC.
ROC go.
Mission Manager.
MM go.
CE.
CE's go.
LD.
LD go.
SE.
SE go.
OD.
OD go.
LDA.
LDA go.
LD report go to initiate terminal count.
You have go to initiate terminal count. And LC, this is VC on countdown 1. I'll take a complete on section 10.54.
Yes, start terminal count.
And LC per 10.55, ready to start terminal count.
Yes. All right, attention on the countdown net at step 55.1. If a hold is called from this point forward, the terminal count auto sequence will be aborted. Indicate an abort or hold condition by saying hold, hold, hold on the primary countdown net. In the event of a hold, the VC will immediately abort the auto sequence. The VC shall not abort the auto sequence after T-minus 10 seconds. If a hold is called, all operators proceed to the terminal count abort steps in section 10.56. Attention all personnel, stand by to pick up the count. T-minus 10 minutes and counting on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. VC, announce the terminal count auto sequence has started.
Auto sequence has started.
RCO, confirm the clock is counting.
RCO, clock is counting.
GC, stand by on FireX.
Standing by.
RC, start the range video recorders.
Range recorders started.
Prop, confirm stage 1 and stage 2 pump chill has begun and announce when pumps are fully chilled.
First stage pre-valves are open. Engines are chilling in. engine fuel trim valves and bipropellant trim valves are cycling. Ready to close out attitude control system filling, closing out.
All stations confirm go for launch. SE.
SE go.
OD.
OD go.
LD.
LD is go for launch.
Copy. LDA, verify clear to launch.
LDA, clear to launch.
Copy.
Vehicle heaters closing out.
ABI, please report vehicle transition to internal power.
Copy. Internal auto sequence has started. Setting auxiliary supplies. And vehicles on internal power.
Ground TBC system is being configured.
Prop, please report vehicle tank pressurization for strong back retract. And GC, report start and completion of strong back retract.
Strong back lower has started. Cradles are opening. East cradle full open. West cradle full open.
Second stage TBC is cycling.
Copy, taking step complete at 55.13.
Strong back motion has started. .85 degrees. .80 degrees. Strong back is retracted.
FTS, confirm FTS is on internal power.
FTS is on internal power.
FISPO, confirm FTS is on internal power.
FISPO confirms FTS on internal power.
FTS, confirm that the FTS system is armed.
FTS is armed.
LOX load is closed out.
Strongback has been pinned.
Tanks pressurizing for flight press using the pre-press system. All engines are chilled in for flight.
Rock, confirm that the range is green.
Rock, range green.
Vehicles in self-align.
Ground, report that vehicle gas supplies are isolated.
Nitrogen supplies. Helium supplies isolated.
VC, please report flight software state changes.
Roger. Vehicles in auto idle. Vehicles in startup. Vehicles transition from ground auto sequence to flight auto sequence. Second stage tank pressure coming up.
T-minus 30 seconds.
All tanks at pressure.
T-minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. Prop AVI GNC, move to section 10.59. GC, move to section 10.58.
GC's in 10.58.
First stage propellant utilization active.
Send Nicholas Island has data.
Awesome copies. The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory. Altitude is 5.8 kilometers, velocity of 467 meters per second, downrange distance of 600 meters. The vehicle is supersonic.
Good telemetry, good power health.
The vehicle is passing through maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Second stage engine chill has started.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory. Altitude is 35 kilometers, velocity of 1.1 kilometers per second, downrange distance of 16. The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory. Altitude of 61 kilometers.
Approaching MECO 1.
Of 1.8 kilometers per second. Downrange distance of 45 kilometers.
Confirmed.
And that ignition confirmed. Stage 2 propellant utilization active.
Fairing separation confirmed. Telemetry still nominal.
Second stage propulsion nominal.
Trajectory, altitude of 232 kilometers, velocity of 2.9 kilometers per second, and a downrange distance of 383.
Propulsion looking good.
Nominal.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory. Altitude of 275 kilometers, velocity of 3.7 kilometers per second, with a downrange distance of 565 kilometers.
Is down, link 51 from Cook is still up.
The vehicle remains in a nominal trajectory, altitude of 310 kilometers, velocity.
First stage is burning, or relighting at this time.
Stage 2 is transition to terminal guidance.
FTS is saved. Approaching SECO 1.
Second stage shut down.
MVAC shutdown confirmed.
Vandenberg Air Force Base, loss of signal on second stage, expected loss of signal. But that was a little bit better than we predicted.
What a ride. Yeah, you can hear the cheering behind us as everybody was following along the Falcon 9 team as we rode to space. It was an amazing flight. So far, I mean, tons of data coming back. It looks like it was a picture-perfect flight. Everything was looking good, right down the middle of the track. Looks like orbit's good. So we'll be waiting to hear as we go on through the morning. But I think right now, that brings us to the end of the scripted events for the morning. So I think right now, let's throw it to Kiko, who's downstairs with the crowd, and then come back to us, and we'll be signing off.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty awesome launch. Everybody down here is super excited, as you can hear them. I think we'll definitely want to get right back to work and get ready for the next one. That's what we do here.
Thank you, Kiko. Well, from the SpaceX team, Jessica, anything you want to say to wrap it up?
Just want to thank all of you for supporting us. This was a new demonstration launch and it went perfect. We're so excited and we're glad you've all been here and we're glad you all tuned in. So stay up to date with us. We'll be doing more Grasshopper stuff and we have a lot more Falcon 9 launches coming. So stay up to date and thank you.
Yeah, I think right now the plan is there'll probably be some type of media conference later on this afternoon. Tie into our website, see what's happening, as well as we'll give updates as we go along in the mission. But for that, also want to send thanks for not only the people that support us, but MDA Corporation, who rode with us on the Falcon 9, as well as our other small sat partners. It's been a great day here in Hawthorne, a great day at Vandenberg, and all over the SpaceX crews in McGregor, DC, the Cape, everybody participating, working along here. So with that, what we'd like to do is close the webcast with a thank you for tuning in. Come back, we've got another launch out of the Cape coming up in just several weeks. We're going to get to live this all over again. So with that, a goodbye from Hawthorne, California at the SpaceX factory.